Right, so hello and welcome back to Books and Things, and welcome to another book shopping adventure. So tomorrow I'm heading away for the weekend for a Booktuber meetup, and not just like a regular Booktuber meetup, but a mega Booktuber meetup. Usually when we do Booktuber meetups, we spend one day either exploring bookshops or doing some reading or something like that. But this time we are having a double bill Booktuber meetup. So on Saturday we're exploring Bath and going around all the bookshops in Bath, and then on Sunday we're exploring Bristol and going around all the bookshops in Bristol. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be really fun. I know Bath very, very well. I used to live there, and it has some wonderful bookshops. Toppings and Company is my favourite bookshop ever, and I love the Persephone bookshop and Mr. B's, and I'm just really looking forward to going back to Bath because it's just my favourite place. And I think Bristol will be really fun as well. I know Bristol a bit, but I don't know the bookshops as well, so I think that'll be really good. And yeah, we have quite a lot of people coming on both days, some people just coming on one, and we've got like 15, 17 people. I think maybe 17 or 18 different people across the 2 days. So I think it'll be really fun. I'm really looking forward to it, and I will do some vlogging, hopefully. I'll try and remember. Usually whenever there's a Booktuber meetup, it's just really fun and I forget to vlog as much as I want to, but I will try and do some vlogging. And there are 2 days, so hopefully I'll get a decent amount of clips. I'm going to try not to buy very many books because my TBR is feeling a bit too big right now. However, as I said, the Toppings and Company Bath bookshop is my favourite bookshop ever, so I would find it quite hard to go in there and buy nothing. And we're also going to the Persephone bookshop in Bath, and I feel like the Persephone bookshop is the best place to browse for Persephone books, so I might buy something there. Or, it is now mid-November, maybe I will do lots of Christmas shopping. Maybe I'll buy lots of books for other people. I'll have a think and I will report back. Okay, that's all for now, and I will, take you with me and vlog a bit as I go. Hello again. It's now Monday. I had a very bookish weekend, as you have hopefully seen. I did take a bit of vlog footage, I think. I took quite a bit. I feel like I mostly just filmed bookshops and like scenery around Bath and Bristol rather than much like Booktube fun. But it was very nice to see everyone, and we had a really lovely weekend. 2 full days of book shopping is actually quite exhausting because you're on your feet all the time. So I think we were all very tired by the end of Sunday, but it was very nice. We had, I think, 17, 18. Yeah, I think we had 18 booktubers across both days, because a few people just came for one day and then quite a lot of people came to both. It was really nice. I'll leave the channels down below of everyone who came. It was just really lovely to see everyone, to meet some people who I hadn't met before, and just to have lots of good chats about books. And I did buy some books. Well, I bought 6 books for myself and I bought 2 books as presents, Christmas presents for other people. But I did end up buying 6 books, which is more than I intended to. But I did buy 4 very short books. And I am excited for all these books, and they sounded really interesting. And also we were going to like a lot of my favourite bookshops, especially in Bath. And I just really wanted to buy something in them because I love Toppings, I love Mr. B's, I love Persephone. Like, they are probably 3 bookshops that would be in my like top 5 bookshops of all time that happen to be in one city. So I just wanted to buy things there and support them. And also I then, found some other things around that I thought looked interesting. And whenever I go to an independent bookshop, it is nice to support them and buy some things. It was actually a very classics heavy book haul. So I bought 5 classics and 1 non-fiction. So the non-fiction book I bought was this. This is The Mysterious Case of the Victorian Female Detective by Sarah Lodge, which I have heard about a little bit online, I think, and is a non-fiction book about women working as detectives in the Victorian period, which I think is really cool. And I think this book is also like both a history book and a book that kind of engages with literary criticism. And I think the author kind of talks about how real women were involved in detective work, and also how different that was to the kind of like female detective figure that you sometimes find in Victorian literature. So I think this will be really, really interesting, and I kind of couldn't resist it. So there we go. That one I bought in Toppings, and then in Mr. B's I bought a present for someone else, and then in Persephone Bookshop I couldn't resist buying this one. I think the last time I went to Persephone Bookshop a couple of years ago, I wanted to buy this book and then resisted, so this time I bought it. So this is The Victorian Chaise Lounge by Margarita Lasky. So this is a ghost story from the 1950s, but obviously with some like old Victorian elements, as I'm assuming it's a haunted Victorian piece of furniture. The little like description at the Persephone Bookshop said, like the yellow wallpaper, but much, much scarier. So that just sounded great. So I bought this and I'm very glad to have it. And it's only very short. This won't take me very long. And then another bookshop we went to in Bath was Bath Old Books, which is a second-hand bookshop. And I saw that they had a lot of Anthony Trollope Folio Society books, so I decided to buy one. There are a lot of Anthony Trollope Folio Society books in a lot of charity shops and second-hand bookshops in the UK. I feel like pretty much every second-hand bookshop I go into in the UK has several Anthony Trollope Folio Society books. This bookshop had a good 20 of them. And I kind of want to collect them all, but I don't really know where I'd have space for them all. And I definitely don't want to like acquire all of them at the same time, because I just feel like that will be overwhelming in terms of space and cost as well. They're not really expensive, like usually, because these are secondhand, they're usually like £5 or £10, not like however much new Folio Society editions cost. But obviously, like, still, if you buy a lot together, that does really add up. But I did see that one of the Anthony Trollope Folio Society books the shop had was Marion Fay, and Marion Fay is one of the 4 Anthony Trollope books I have left to read, and I'm going to be reading this in December. I've got a buddy read lined up, so I know I'm going to be getting to this really soon. So I thought it would be nice to have a nice edition, and then I can read it from this edition. Just open to find one of the illustrations, because I do always enjoy the illustrations in Folio Society. But it's got like a nice font and spacing, so it would be quite nice to read from this edition when I read it next month. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I bought 3 books in Bath on the Saturday, and then in Bristol on the Sunday I bought another 3 books, all very thin. So the first bookshop we went to in Bristol was a shop called Bookhouse, which was just really lovely and very nicely curated and very calm. And I spotted this. This is The Man Who Planted Trees by Jean Guiono. So this is a French classic, I think from the 1950s, translated from the French by Barbara Bray. And I think it's a novel about a man kind of finding solace in nature after the First World War. I think that's what it's about. And it's got these beautiful, like, woodcut illustrations in it, which I just thought was so lovely. So I thought I wanted to own this. And actually later in the day, from another bookshop, Kerry from Bookish Adventures of Wellbeing also found this and picked it up. So we're going to do a buddy read at some point in December, because this will only take us like an afternoon. It's like 50 pages, but I think this would be a really interesting read. And then the next bookshop we went to was a bookshop within an art gallery, which was really cool. And I picked up this. So this is Grave of the Fireflies by Akiyuki Nosaka. This is a Japanese novel from the 1960s, from 1968, and this is translated from Japanese by Ginny Tapley Takamori, who's a really good translator. I've read things translated by her before. And Grave of the Fireflies is the story of two siblings, two children struggling in Japan during the Second World War after their home in Kobe is destroyed by firebombs. And I'm familiar with this story because I love the Studio Ghibli film Grave of the Fireflies. I love it so much. It's one of my favourite films of all time, though I think I've only seen it once or twice because it's just so emotionally devastating that you have to be like in the right headspace for it. But it's so fantastic, and I will never forget it. And I will watch it again at some point, but it must be a good decade since I last saw it, because I just can't often cope with Grave of the Fireflies because it is so tragic, but it is fantastic. And I didn't realise until very recently that Grave of the Fireflies, the film, was based on a novel, a semi-autobiographical novel, I believe. So I really have been wanting to read this ever since I saw it. I don't know how similar the film and the book will be. On the one hand, Studio Ghibli do sometimes take wild liberties with novels that they adapt into screen. On the other hand, I somehow feel like Grave of the Fireflies as a film might be truer to its source material. Not really sure why. It's also very short, so I expect it will have expanded rather than changed, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I'm just really curious to read this, and I'm hoping to get to it very soon. And then finally we went to a bookshop called The Last Bookshop, where everything is like under £5. And I saw a copy of A Single Man by Christopher Ishwood, which I've meaning to read for ages and ages, and again is very short. I think I've got this out the library before and then just ran out of time to read it, and I thought if I own it I will actually get to it soon. I've been meaning to read it for ages. This is a queer classic from the 1960s about a English professor living in California who is kind of struggling with grief after the death of his long-term partner. And I just have heard such great things about this book for such a long time that it is about time that I get to it, and having it on my shelves will mean that I do. So yeah, those are the books I bought on the Booktuber meetup, which was just great fun, and it was really lovely just going around lots of bookshops with people and seeing some new bookshops and some old favourite bookshops. I love Bath. I used to live there and it's just my favourite place. I just always feel very happy whenever I go back to Bath, so that was very lovely. But it was also nice to explore the bookshops of Bristol, because Bristol's another place I know relatively well, but I haven't been bookshopping there really, so that was very nice. So there we go. Those are the books I got on the Booktuber meetup. But it did occur to me while I'm doing a bit of a haul, I do have a bunch of review copies I've been sent lately that I haven't read yet, that I haven't talked about anywhere, so I thought I would quickly show you them. I'm so behind on my review copies lately that basically whenever anyone offers to send me a review copy, I except if I really want to read the book, with a disclaimer that I'm very behind on my review copies and probably won't read it for a while. So anyway, I've got 2 Christmas books, so hopefully I will read these before the end of the year. So I've got The Austen Christmas Murders by Jessica Bull. This has just come out. I think it'll be really lovely. Well, I know it will be really lovely. I've loved the 2 previous books in the series, which is a detective series all about Jane Austen solving murder mysteries. They're great fun. They're delightful. This is a Christmas novella. It won't take me very long. I will read this in December. But talking of Christmassy books, I was also sent this a few months ago. This is The 12 Days of Christmas by Susan Stokes Chapman. So this is a series of Christmas short stories, I think all set in the Regency period. They might not all be set in the Regency period, but I think they are. And I think maybe they're sort of interconnected in some way. I'm not quite sure, but it just sounds really, really fun. And I like Susan Stokes Chapman writing before I read The Shadow Key. I was about to say a year ago, but maybe it was this year. I've lost all sense of time. I read The Shadow Key and it was great, so I'm looking forward to this a lot. Then talking of books where I've enjoyed the author's previous work, I also have here a proof copy of The Night Hag by Hester Musson. And The Beholders was one of my favourite books of last year. Was it last year? I think it was last year. I loved The Beholders anyway. It was great. It was fantastic. And this is Hester Muston's second book, The Night Hag. And I'm sure it will be great because I loved The Beholders so much. I don't even really know anything about this because I just knew that it was by the same author as The Beholders and immediately wanted a copy. Okay, it is set in Scotland in the 1880s and it's about an archaeologist who is plagued by nightmares. So that sounds fascinating. And to be honest, I don't really need to know very much about it because I know how much I loved Hester Muston's previous book. So I'm very, very excited for this. Then I have two other proof copies of historical fiction. So here I have The Three by Kelsey O'Brien, which I just think sounds fantastic and actually isn't very long. So I could probably read this soon. This is set in Georgian London and it's about three characters, Henry, Matthew and Alina. Henry and Alina are married, but Henry is having an affair with Matthew and he invites Matthew into their home as a private dressmaker to his wife. So there's some very tangled relationships going on here. And I think it's probably a bit of a thriller. I don't know, it sounds very tense and really good. And I also have this. This is A Very Vexing Murder by Lucy Andrew. It sounds very, very good fun. So this is another Austen murder mystery, Austen-inspired murder mystery. So this is a murder mystery happening in Highbury, and Emma's friend Harriet Smith is investigating, which just sounds really fun, doesn't it? I think this will be really delightful, so I'm looking forward to this very much. There we go, 5 proof copies I've acquired over the last couple of months, and 6 books I got over the weekend. So that is definitely a big enough haul for now. Let's not inquire into the size of my TBR at present. I feel like at the beginning of the year it was just really manageable, and now it is not. But there we go. I should go to bookshops less, and then I will buy fewer books. But I do love going to bookshops and, you know, it's nice to support them. So I'm excited for all of these books. Do let me know down in the comments if you have read any of these books, what you thought of them, if there's any you're looking forward to. And otherwise, yes, I will leave links down below to all of the booktubers who came along to the meetup. It was very good fun. Do go and check out all of their channels because they are all great. That's all for now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back very soon with another bookish video.